This is stuck somewhere. Where?
It's held down.
Held down. See, all people are coming wrong for wrong class. এইভাবে এই ক্লাসটাই আমার ভালো লাগে না। First of all, this is reading of the Bhagavad. So, many places I am not very conversant with the stories and things. We know Vedanta, Brahman, Atman, no? For us. Witness, consciousness, observer, observed, that are very common thing. But this is a book, Bhagavat, and it has so many stories, sub-stories, this, that, and all these things which we are not very conversant also sometimes. Anyhow, you have to bear with it. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamshachanudamardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of the demons Kamsa and Chanura, the darling of the mother Devaki, the guru of the world and the teacher of the humanity. I salute him again and again. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So this is a reading, book reading, mostly because it is such a big volume, and we get, of course, discuss when little topic comes like devotion, but general stories and things we just run on. So it may not be very interesting today, because the place we are, there it is starting with the fourth book, which starts with the introduction, what it is. Fourth volume says that this starts the fourth skanda. It has 31 chapters, supposed to deal with two ideas, sarga and visarga. And that is creation, how the creation, sarga is natural evolution or pre-creative evolution of the category. And visarga is bringing into existence the various species of jivas inhabiting in them. So two technical terms, they will talk about sarga and visarga. Sarga means creation, and visarga means in that creation how these different species were, like Darwin's theory of evolution, no? It moves from one life to the another life to another life. Now a study of the third skanda would show that while sarga is described in two places, an equal or a greater part of this skanda is occupied with Brahma's creative activity. That means this chapter will discuss about the creative activity of God, and Brahma we call Brahma. Brahma is the creator in Hindu pantheon. So can very well be considered as dealing with sarga and visarga both. Similarly, now this fourth chapter, skanda 2, visarga in the sense of Brahma's creation finds very little place. From what we could understand, with the creation of Manu, Satarupa, Brahma's creation stops. The fourth skanda is dealing more with the Bhama Sucharita, the dynasty of pious kings. The skanda opens with the life of Swayambhavu Brahmanu and his wife Satarupa, who were born from Brahma's body. They had 3 daughters, Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti, and 2 sons. Their name is Uttanapada and Priyabrata. See, all these names and all these things are not, we are not familiar with that type of present day names, no? So anyhow, the first man, Swayambhuva, created by Brahma, seems to be a Kshatriya, warrior group, and he was the first king to rule over the whole earth. So according to this book, Swayambhuva, he was the created, Brahma created him first, and he is considered to be the ruler of the whole creation, world, earth. And this conception of the earth, of the Puranic, is dealt with the next skanda book, 5th book. Swayambhuva had 3 daughters, as we said, Akuti, Prasuti, and Devahuti. Of these daughters of Swayambhu, the story of Devahuti, who became the wife of Kardama and the mother of Kapila, has already been told in the 3rd skanda. So Swayambhuva, the Lord, is created, the creator, has 3 daughters, and out of them the Devahuti story has been told. Devahuti is the wife of the sage called Kardama, and his son was born as Kapila, the incarnation, human incarnation. Her 9 daughters were married to several Prajapatis. All these stories it does not take my mind. I don't understand so many stories. To remember those stories and to relate and correlate, very difficult. Vedanta simple, Atman, Brahman, name and form, all appearance, this, that, much easier, no? But those who know Puranas, though they enjoy it. Those who like many stories, no? And Purana is all this Bhagavat is a story through which the highest philosophy is expressed to these stories and things, and how to live a life. In life, how much problem comes and how much to overcome them. Now, Swayambhuva's first daughter, her name is Akuti. He was married to Prajapati Ruchi. Had a son and a daughter. Baba, how to remember all these links? One of the very important episode in this skanda originates from Prasuti. Another long episode dealt with these 5 following chapters is the story of Dhruva. That is the interesting story, Dhruva, the story of a devotee. Dhruva was the son of Swayambhuva's son, Uttanapada. Taunted by his stepmother, the boy is touched to the quick, goes into self-exile, meditates on Lord God, Mahavishnu, gains his blessings and returns to his father, becomes the ruler after his time, and became one of the noted devotee king in Hindu tradition. His many exploits are described. It seemed after his father's retirement, he ruled for 36,000 years. Baba, these calculations also. How one can rule for 67, how much say? 36,000 years. Relative term, no? Yeah, too long. We live for 100 years. That also being so much affected by disease and suffering and old age, no? But anyhow, this time, I don't know, time concept is different. It may be that he lived in the very early years of Kalpa, when men had much greater span of life. But those who take all statements made in the Purana on the basis of such chronology to be history, as understood today, should remember that they are on very slippery ground. And the next 11 chapters, the circumstances leading to the advent of a great devotee, King Prithu, classed as incarnation, and his rule devoted to the spread of the gospel of bhakti is described. So, his immediate predecessor, Bina, was a tyrant who was deposed. The great work of Prithu was to restore prosperity to the land that had been reduced to the state of famine by the misrule of Bina. It also stated that the organization of the country into villages and towns was started first by Prithu. The story of his numerous Ashwamedha sacrifices and confrontation with Indra are vividly described. He was great as an administrator and as devotee. The next 8 chapters of the story of Prachino Baris, the grandson of Prithu, and that of his sons, known by the group named Prochetas, is described. So we are not very much interested in all these stories and links, no? It's confusing. So we'll read I'll jump into some pages and I'll just read the chapter heading. First of all, the line of Swayambhuva's others' daughters. That means, as we said, the God incarnated in different ways, that they call Swayambhuva. They are born out of their own. God creates himself. Manu, first daughter, was married to Prajapati, and then there came Ruchi, and then Ruchi, radiant with his Brahminic luster, got her fully absorbed in divine contemplation. So it goes to line up Kardama Prajapati, Atri, Vidura, Atri Rishi I heard. Daksa Prajapati, line of Angirasa, Naranarayan incarnation. Confrontation between Rudra and Daksa, Bhrigu's curse, Soti Devi's desire to visit Daksa's sacrifice. That story we know a little bit, no? And then Rudra advising her not to attend the Jagna. And then we know the mother Soti, death of Soti Devi, insult of Soti at Daksa's sacrifice. That story we know. Soti Devi's criticism of Daksa's conduct. Soti burns up her body in yogic fire. Then the destruction of Daksa. Evil portents at the site of Daksa's Jagna. Then propitiation of Rudra.
But this Daksha story is about Mother and Shiva, Shakti, Shakti. So why it is in Vaishnava texts?
That I do not know. That means we make the division probably. We make the division, it is Sakto Saiva. But it is not intermingled. Description of Alakapuri and Saugandhika forest, Baba. Hymn to Rudra, to praise to Rudra. Completion of Daksa's sacrifice. Daksa's repentance, and then Lord God appears before. Daksa said, "Though I insult you, you have bestowed a great blessings on me, for you did not leave me where I was, but inflicted on me a punishment that has led to me my correction. You and Srihari never despise even a degraded Brahmana. Much less would you do so in regard to a Brahmas under vows of sacred undertaking. Assuming the form of Brahma, you created from your face Brahmanas Brahma's face, Brahmana came out. Brahmanas endowed with learning, austerity, sacred vows and observance of etc. May the Lord take satisfaction in His own noble act of bestowing His gracious glance on me, saving me from the hell to which I would otherwise have been condemned for insulting a great one in an assembly with the piercing words of abuse owing to my ignorance of the truth. Thus, propitiating Sri Rudra in this way, Daksa was commanded by Brahma to complete the yajna, and he did so with assistance of the preceptors, the sacrificial priests, and the fire. And then hymns of praise to God. Daksa then praised God. So it's nothing much to get out of it. The story of Dhruva. Let us go there. Among the offsprings of Brahma, Sanaka and the other three Kumaras, and also Narada, Ribhu, Aruni, Hamsa and Jati, remained a perpetual brahmachari, celibate. They didn't marry and had no descendant. So you know that Brahma created, and then creating he made 4 Rishi Kumaras. They are called Shuka, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar, Sanatana. They are the 4 eternally pure souls dedicated to God realization, and they are all born as Brahmagyanis, knowers of truth. So among that offsprings, there are also the sage Narada falls in that category, Ribhu, another saint, Aruni, there are all these names we know. So they did not marry and had no descendant. Adharma, on the Brahma's progeny, had Mrisha, untruth, as his wife. These are all both his name as also the meaning of the name. Name is Adharma. Adharma means unrighteousness. It is given to one person. So one of Brahma's progeny, his name was given Brahma, Adharma, and had Mrisha, meaning untruth, as his wife. She gave birth to a hypocrisy. Dambha. Dambha means dambha. A person is dambhik. Pride, hypocrisy. And Maya, deceit. So, see how the name, these are talking about high philosophy, embedded in a way, talking about something which is very menial. See, our Sarvadevananda Swami has come. Come. Yeah, please. No, you go and pranam and then. See, all of them have come before, say now itself. So see how it's then Adharma. Adharma had his wife. Adharma's wife. Who is the Adharma's wife? Mrisha. So when there is unrighteousness associated with falsehood, and falsehood gives birth to hypocrisy. So they are saying these names that this is the, as if personified. They have personified them and given the name. And Maya and hypocrisy and deceit. These two become united as husband and wife, and they had as their son the Rakshasa Niritti, who was himself without issue. Vidura, Dambha and Maya had also their progeny Lobha, greed, Nikriti, obstinacy, From that came krodha, anger, hingsha, slaughter, were born. They gave birth to Kali, evil, and his sister Duruki, foul speech. Anyhow, so these are all this mixture came, and now what comes to Dhruva? Dhruva's discomfort, Dhruva's discomfortitude at the hands of Suruchi. O son of Kuru, I shall next describe the extremely holy line of Manu, who was himself a portion of a part of the Lord, the son of Brahma, who is a part of the Lord. Priyabrata and Uttanapada, the two sons of Swayambhu, by his wife Satarupa, were endowed with a part of the Lord himself, and they engaged themselves in governing the world. Of course, Uttanapada had two wives. One is called Suniti, another Suruchi, of whom the latter was very dear to the king, while the former, that means Suniti, the mother of Dhruva, was not so dear. So the Uttanapada king has two wives, and out of them their name is Suniti and Suruchi. But Suniti's son, his name was Dhruva, but he was not liked so much. One day the king Uttanapada was fondling Uttama, his son by Suruchi, holding him on his lap, when Dhruva, the son of Suniti, also came forward to be fondled. The king did not, however, encourage him for fear of Suruchi, his wife would not like. So extremely haughty as she was, Suruchi, on seeing her co-wife's son Dhruva presenting himself to be seated on the king's lap, along with her own son, burst into the following bitter words at him in the very hearing of the king. Boy, you do not deserve to be seated on the king's lap, for though you are the king's son, you were not born of me. Being a jealousy, all these things are the result of that. Being a mere boy, you are not aware that you were born of the womb of another woman. So you sought this privilege, which is impossible and improper for you to think of. If you aspire to sit on the king's lap, you have got to worship the Lord, and by his grace be born in my womb. That means he scolded his, cousin, now what will be the term? Wives, two wives are married to Uttanapada. So his own son, huh? What is that? Stepson, yeah. I think stepson, right, that is the word. So stepson is saying you have to be born in my son, as son. You do go and worship God and get the blessings from God so that you are born in my womb. Then you can sit in the throne. But you are not capable of sitting in the throne. My son can only sit. So that is the jealousy. Hit by the sharp words of stepmother, the boy hissed out long breath like an angry serpent hit by a stick. Crying aloud, he ran away to his mother as he found his father sitting unmoved by all that he had heard and saw. The boy, who was weeping disconsolately with prolonged sobs and trembling lips, was taken on her lap. Suniti took on her lap by his mother Suniti, who now heard to her great sorrow from her household attendants about the mean and cruel words of her co-wife. Now Suniti advised this son, who is Dhruva. Caught in the forest fire of sorrow, that young lady lost self-control like a creeper. Ruminating over the words of her co-wife, she grieved and wept, shedding tears from her eyes. The helpless lady, finding no relief for her sorrow, sighed deeply and told her son, "Son, bear no ill will towards others. Whoever causes distress to others reaps the fruits of it afterwards in the shape of suffering. What Suruchi said was right, for you were born in me and nourished by me, an unfortunate creature whom the king is ashamed to admit as wife or even as a handmaid. So these are all family stories, no? It happens like that. And see, one will be so much deprived of affection, love, and then fall the victim of jealousy, and their children also feel the same way. Though it is king's, both are king's child, no? But this is the difference in treatment comes. And that's also another thing to learn. Sometimes grief or sometimes odd situation brings us to grief. But it is not all bad. It takes us to God more closer. Right? We go to God when we are in difficulty. When you are in great praise, everyone pampers you and say, ha ha, you are so great, you are so... So we forget God. We think that it's my power, no? But when someone insults, you get deprived from something legitimate, then you cry and go to whom? To God. And when you go there, then you spiritually develop. So that's why sometimes suffering, Holy Mother used to say, suffering is not bad. Dukkho bhagavane dayar dan. Suffering is a blessing, not curse, of the compassion, God's compassion. Sometimes when God is compassionate, what is compassion? We think when we are praised, we get our desired thing. Oh, God is gracious to me. We do not know God is giving us some toys to live on the world for a longer period, no? And forgetting Him. So that as the mothers, as the mummies do, they bring some toys to the baby, and the baby will be very much absorbed in the toys and play, and Ma will be doing her own job, no? But when the toys will be meaningless to a child and throw away, as Ramakrishna said, and cries, oh Ma, then Ma comes and takes the baby to the lap. So similarly in this world, God is always sending one toy after another toy, no? When we are babies, we have some dolls, they are our life, how we treated the dolls, the dogs, the cats, no? We know, they talk to us, the dog has a doll has a high fever, so you are taking care of the doll, no? So we do that, and that's a doll. But we understand, no, it is just baby feels not rightly. But now we are also babies. What we like now, we feel joy, that is an ignorance idea, no? And spiritual people say, hey, what is this mundane thing you are engaged into it, no? This is also a toy. So our life goes on toys after toys, one toy is after another toy, endless. And God has the infinite supply of toys. And then God wants to play with us, make us forget about our, to go home, to have absolute joy, the eternal peace, no? God hides from our face by giving this. So when suffering comes, suffering is a blessing. To that suffering, we can experience our own inner truth. The world reveals its nature. The world is very, very sweet and lustrous. For when we are engaged into the world. But when odd situation comes, the same world gives you a beating and you feel lost. Love is betrayed, relationship breaks, monetary loss, all this hazard comes one after another. Then where do you go? No friend will be there. All the good friends are when you have money, wealth, beauty, all this you are so great, no? When you lose your money, you lose your beauty, you lose your health, and you have money is a big thing. See, great friends, they don't look at the person who has no money. It is happening. See how many people are becoming homeless. They are not homeless people, but for situation, under situation, job has gone, suddenly they cannot maintain their rental expenses, no? The mortgage, this, that. And then they go into the car, and the car is also cannot maintain, and then go. And now we think, who is there helping? We look upon them with disgrace, no? As if you are compassionate if you give $5 to them, no? But the person who lives in that, he has a waking call then. That person thinks, oh, what is this world? And then question comes. So that is in spiritual life, that is an awakening. This is a slumber. And then you forget in this overwhelmingly attractive outside world, dragging our attention is really a superficial thing. Then you understand what is my real nature and where shall I go, why am I here, why am I suffering. So Dhruva fell into that type of that situation. He is a fortunate guy. We learn through our experience, though Dhruva, being a prince, was treated by his mom and stepmother like that. And that created, and he went to the forest then. And so dear one, accept, mother is saying, dear one, accept without any ill will the advice given to you, even though it be from the co-wife of your mother. Worship the Supreme Lord Mahavishnu. So what the Suruchi, no? Suniti and Suruchi. So Suruchi taught that you worship Mahavishnu, and by his grace, then you will get a good fortune to be born in my home, and you will be my child, and then you will be the inheritor of this kingdom. No? So worship the Supreme Lord Mahavishnu. If you desire to be seated in my king's lap, even like Uttama. So that is the advice given by your stepmother. So follow that. That's the blessings, no? Don't keep any ill will. See, this is also parallelly how the character is built. Character is built only through deep suffering. Those who have not experienced the odd situations of life, they cannot grow in spiritual life. So, they remain, many of the things remain unnoticed by them. It is by the service of the Mahavishnu, who has assumed a sattvika form in the purpose of protection of the worlds, that Brahma has come to occupy the Sattva Loka, which even the yogis with perfect self-control aspire to gain. By God's grace, Mahavishnu's grace, even that Brahma has come to this, stay in this Sattva Loka. Brahma lives in the Sattva Loka, higher plane. In the same way, your grandfather Swayambhu Manu attained to the worldly felicity. That's also Mahavishnu's grace. Dear one, install that all-pervading being in your heart. It's the mother advising the child. That's also another side of Indian ancient glory, how the society used to run, how mother, not maybe going to school and university like today, there's no such scope, but they carry so much values in their life. He's teaching the son, after getting so much insult, saying, don't take it as insult. Learn how to take advantage of it. What your stepmother has advised, that you go to worship the Lord God, Mahavishnu, the Lord God of the universe, no? And that will give you whatever you want. You pray to God, you get everything. So that is instilled in a child, a small child, and he's getting this great advice and he's following. So mother's life also. So, dear one, install that all-pervading being, Mahavishnu, in your heart, being prepared by the observance of Bhagavat Dharma, and by unswerving devotion, and worship him who is fond of his servants and whose feet is all liberation seekers seek, strive to attain. Dear boy, I can think of none but the lotus-eyed Lord Mahavishnu to assuage your grief. For his greatness is so transcendent that even the Sri Devi, Mother Lakshmi, whose favor all other devas are courting, is ever engaged in service at his feet. No? So you, oh dear boy, now just take surrender at the feet of the Lord and go and pray and meditate on him. Mother give the advice. Now the sage Maitreya, who is referring all these stories, hearing this sound advice of his mother, though given in the form of a grief-stricken prattle, the boy Dhruva controlled his mind somehow and left his father's city. So left the kingdom. Sage Narada came to know of it and approached the boy, and placing his sanctifying hand on his head, thought as follows in great surprise. Narada Rishi, he is called ever free. He moves from place to place everywhere. Lord Narayan's messenger, singing the glories of the Lord Narayana. So he can read the minds of everyone. He read the mind of this boy, Dhruva. And so he became very compassionate and came to him. In the matter of his honor, his sensitive, in the matter of his honor, how sensitive a Kshatriya is. Even a small boy like him cannot forget the cruel words of his stepmother. Says that this boy has wonderful character. How he can ignore such abuse, and he left his kingdom, his father's property. He is a prince. But he followed the instruction of his. So what a pure soul is that. Narada said to the boy, "Oh dear child, I find little relevancy for consideration of honor and dishonor in the case of one like you. You are a boy, but you have this great quality to honor and dishonor, to make it equal. That is not a matter of joke. So you are having that wonderful quality that you can make honor and dishonor almost the same, and of your age, what the child do, other children do, whose interest at this age should be in your playthings, toys and play, and that is the age of you. But you are so interested in God, and your soul is so pure that your mind is not disturbed by this, and you come to worship God. One may have the sense of being honored or dishonored, but the feeling of happiness and unhappiness associated with these are only due to infatuation caused by ignorance. For happiness and unhappiness in life are due to the karmas of the past. See, as a good teacher also comes. A good person, in proper time, that's why it said in our life, teacher comes in proper time. When you need, Swami Vivekananda said, when the soil is ready, then when you are ready, Guru will come to you. Ramakrishna's example in his life, look at them. When he's trying to think in one way, God, that expert teacher of that tradition appears out of his own. He's given an example. His life is an example for all of us to understand these scriptures. What theoretically it is said. And if you are sincere, whatever you want, that thing will come. So here, oh dear one, a wise man who has faith in the divine dispensation should feel satisfied with whatever happens, as this is Lord's will. So your good karma, you have a good karma, and you have taken it as a Lord's will. You have no bad feeling for your stepmother. You have no bad abusive word for him. You are not what you call titiksha. Titiksha is a word in the Viveka Chudamani, forbearance. So Titiksha said forbearance. What is forbearance? Shankaracharya says, Sahanang sarvadukhanam, to endure all types of suffering. Chinta vilapurohitam, it is enduring all types of suffering without any murmur. If one insults us, we first of all we retaliate. If you, okay, I don't retaliate, but I am angry. Oh, how can you do that? No? And anger expresses, I immediately go to my cell phone and hello, call my friend. If I don't do anything, but at least to tell somebody, what injustice, what is this going on? I don't know. We want some support for our, I am a good guy and she has done bad. But here he says, forbearance is sahanang sarvadukhanam, enduring all types of suffering. Sahanang sarvadukhanam apratikara purvakam, without any attempt to do any remedy to redress that. Chinta, bila, purahitam, not even thinking, not lamentation even. That is called titiksha. So he says, you, a boy of this age, you have categorically raised your consciousness into such a level that this insult is no insult. Your mom told and you accepted. You are taking it as your karma of the past life. See, if you think, I am a good guy and this person did so much bad thing. Why he did it to you, not to others? If you bring the karma theory, no. Out of so many people, say 10 people are there, and one guy comes and gives a push or push him into, just pushes him into the road and he falls down and breaks his teeth and everything. Why it happened to you? What is the reason? Out of so many, why you are being targeted that way? It is your karma. So karma theory, if you bring it is karma. So take responsibility on your own self. It is my karma has done this. I'll have to undo my karma. See, that gives peace. We become restless, we become dissatisfied when I point out everything for you. You did this to me. You did that to me. I am a good guy, world famous guy. But all bad thing because of you, because of you, because of you. So this is the point. Good karma is necessary. Good spiritual personality can handle this situation. So, a wise man who has faith in the divine dispensation should feel satisfied with whatever happens. A good person, a spiritual person. And that is a story now. Whatever happens is good. Whatever happens is good. So there is one prince and one son of a minister. And both of them, they're all Kshatriyas. So the both of them took 2 horses and went for hunting. And she entered into a forest. And they're all both are on the ride of the horse. And they're while going, the prince, while traveling into dense forest, it scratched his arm and profuse bleeding started. And his friend, the minister's son, he said, wow, whatever happens, it is for the good. It is for your good. And he got mad. Hey, we are friends, and you see I am bleeding, and you're saying whatever bleeding is happening, it will be good for me? What type of friend are you? So he got so much angry and annoyed. So he was thinking, okay, let me teach him. So both were going, and then they found a big well, old well, in the forest, how it happened. So seeing that, he pushed the friend into the waters of the well, and he jumped into that and fell in, and it's so deep he cannot come out. And he said, yes, whatever happens, it is for the good. You said just now, no? So see. He said, But anyhow, he was a spiritual personality. So he said, okay, what he will do? He tried to climb up, but there is no means to climb up, and no rope. Someone's assistance is necessary. And he then went deep into the forest. And as he went deep into the forest, then there came one, some group of people. They want some human sacrifice. So human sacrifice, so come in. As human sacrifice, so they are searching for some good guy, and they got this prince. He got the prince. When he saw the prince, they are excited. What better sacrifice than a prince, no? It's any human sacrifice, any human they can do and chop the head, no? And offer it to God. That's the human sacrifice. But he saw the prince. They are so excited, and the cat caught him and took him for the sacrificial altar. And then when they went there, and they take a bath and this everything, and his head was put like that into the chopping place. And the priest came. Priest checked on the body and found that there is a big scratch, wound. You cannot offer anything which is being not perfect. That's why we offer flower, we throw away what is little spot is there, this is bad, that is bad, to give God everything which is good. But you cannot give which is scratched like that. It is forbidden in their scripture. And the priest said, hey, whom did you bring? Get out. He cannot be offered to God, mother. So he got released. And they also threw away, get out. So he now thought that, my God, my friend, he said, whatever happens, happens for the good, because my hand was that way bleeding. Because of that cut, I am alive now. I was just come out of the slaughter chamber, back to my life. So he was very grateful then, no? And he was thinking, what a bad guy I was. My friend was so good, and I didn't listen to his words, and I actually abused him and threw him into the ditch, into the well, and he is just surviving. Maybe there are maybe old snakes and this and that, who knows what. And he was very kind and considerate, and walked and went, and found that still the friend, he's just trying to survive. And then with sending some rope or some collecting something, he lifted the friend out and said, please forgive me, brother, I did a very wrong thing to you. And the friend is so good, that's a wonderful character. Friend says, no, brother. Whatever God does for the good of us. He said, how? I have thrown you, you told the right thing, and I didn't understand that intense meaning of that, and I throw you into the ditch, and you say that everything is good. But yes, don't understand this. Suppose we are two going together. They would have caught both of us, and they have released you because of your bleeding and cut. But they would caught me. They would have slaughtered me. So ultimately, whatever God does for the good. So these are the words of very faith, no? So here, this to take that in our life is a great lesson. That whatever happens in my life, it is for my good. Let me use the opportunity, let me use this time. Jahi, there is a word, no? Jahi vidhi rakhe Ram, tahi vidhi rahiye. How the Lord Rama keeps you, live in that way. Chapri mein rakhe Ram, maybe he keeps you in a cottage, hut, or pahelo mein rakhe, mahelo mein, or in a palace. Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram kijiye. You only clap your hand and say, glory to Lord Shiva, Rama, 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 Sita, 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 Ma Sita, Rama. And be happy. So wherever God places us, that's a spiritual attitude. Not how much japa we do. That is the sign of spirituality. There is, our further meaning is also deep here. So here he says, oh, Narada is praising him. See, you are so great, no? You can keep your mind cool, and you are taking it in a right manner, your good karma is there. That's why you can take this odd situation as a blessings for spiritual life. So therefore, abstain from your present resolution, as it will be fruitless effort. You can do all that after you reach the proper age for performance of such holy deeds. No, now you are doing this austerity, taking the oath that I will pray and meditate until God comes and gives my vision. So it is not necessarily you should do it. You can be a young, small boy, you mature, and then you will do. A person who remains satisfied with the happiness and suffering that accrue to him according to the Lord's will in course of time overcome ignorance. If one comes across another with superior qualities, one should congratulate him and not feel jealous. With a person with inferior qualities, one should be sympathetic, and with one equal to oneself in virtue, one should entertain friendship. One who follows this rule never suffers. So that is the advice given, that these are the good qualities. So you have already, so you can stop it now. Don't go for that austerity and other things. Narada sympathizes with Dhruva and advises him on meditation. Now Dhruva said, Dhruva the boy said, that path to peace, which is difficult for persons like us to understand, which is what you know now declared for the benefit of creatures distressed by the pairs of opposites like happiness and misery. But this advice does not make an impression on my mind, which has the Kshatriya character of pride and resistance to injury, in this instance generated by the arrows of abuse inflicted on my heart by my stepmother Suruchi. So he says, yes, I have good qualities though, but I am born as a Kshatriya. Kshatriya are a warrior. What the warrior do? They fight against injustice. So I am unjustly deprived. So I will pray and meditate and get the vision of God and ask the boon to be the king. So that is his point. Not that I will realize God and that is bad, but I will ask him the boon so that I can be the king, which I insulted. So Kshatriya power is that, not what you said is Brahmana, Brahmanic quality. Okay, I don't like anything, I give, like Arjuna become like a Brahman. I cannot fight, I cannot do this. It is all, so what is the use of so much bloodshed? I want to be a Brahmin. And Krishna said, no, you are born as a warrior, no? You cannot behave like that of a Brahmin. That means you have a dharma, Kshatriya dharma, that formula you have to follow. So, oh great one, that's why this boy says, Dhruva, I will observe my Kshatriya dharma, the nature of my warrior attitude. O great one, show me the way to attain to a state far superior to all in the three worlds, and which even my grandfather could not attain. So, O great one, show me the way. You instruct me how I can attain to that state. And you are truly the son of Brahma, O Narada, you are the son of Brahma. So for sounding your veena and singing the glory of the Lord, you go about the world for the welfare like the sun itself. So guide me how I can reach my goal. Then Maitra is relating the sage, relating again the story. The all-knowing sage Narada was very much pleased to hear Dhruva's words and advised him mercifully as follows for his good. So Narada now said, what Narada said? It is beyond doubt that you can attain to the supreme good only through Vasudeva, the Lord Krishna, as pointed out by your mother. Therefore worship the Lord with complete dedication of your heart. The worship of the Lord Sri Hari is the one common means for the attainment of any of the four aspects of human welfare: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So, four goals of life: earning good money, leading a righteous life; dharma, artha, earning good money and wealth, that's another goal; kama, fulfillment of the legitimate desires of life, that's the goal of life; and moksha, liberation. All these God can give you. So you worship, listening to what your stepmother told, worship the Lord Vishnu, Narayana. Therefore, oh dear boy, go to Madhuban, go to that forest, isolated place on the bank of the river Jamuna, where there is the presence of the Lord all the time. In solitude you go, on the bank of river Jamuna, the Lord Krishna is to play, so there is more His presence. God is everywhere, no. But we find presence of God in one place more than the other. So you go to Jerusalem, that's it, then you feel there is more presence of the palpable presence of Christ. You go to Dakshineshwar, there's more palpable presence of Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna is here also, everywhere, here also. But it's in the temple is more. If we go to the Hollywood Boulevard, we can see some other type of expression of God, no? So, therefore, oh dear boy, go to the Madhuban on the banks of the Jamuna river, where there is the presence of the Lord at all times. May good befall you. Bathing at the 3 sandhas, giving the instruction. What will you do going there? Take the bath in the holy Jamuna river 3 times, morning, noon and evening of the day. Duly honoring the deities, worship the gods and goddesses. Adopting the proper seat, take a seat, strong seat for meditation, and performing the 3 kinds of pranayama, puraka, rechaka, kumbhaka, for the gradual purification of the senses and the mind. Your mind to purify, do the pranayama. One should meditate after doing this, all this practice preparation, one should meditate on the Lord, the Supreme Teacher, with a firm and concentrated mind. He should be meditated upon in a form with a calm and pleasing demeanor, as an expression revealing his radiance to protect his devotees. With beautiful eyebrows and nose, with charming cheeks, with a beauty that is dazzling even to the gods, endowed with youth and attractive features, having ruddy lips and eyes, affording shelter to all refugees, showering bliss on all, forming an ocean of mercy and a heaven of refuge, having the auspicious mark of Sri Vatsa, looking the blue like a rain cloud, his skin, dwelling in the hearts of all, adorned with a wreath of tulsi leaves, tulsi beads, having 4 hands rendering impressions by conch, discus, mace and lotus in them, decorated with a diadem, earring, armbands, bracelets, sporting with a jewel, what is called kaustuva, on his neck, wearing a yellow cloth adorned with the girdle and ankles of gold, calm, impressive and attractive to the eyes, seated in the lotus of the worshipper, and illumining it with the radiance of the gem-like nails of his toes. So it is a very good idea, description he has given. We meditate on Ramakrishna, we meditate on Krishna. How will you do that? Think of his every part of the body, what his instrument, what is ornament, what is in the right hand, what is in the left hand. So every feature, to thinking of every feature of life in deeply one part, so that your mind will not get alive. Mind is distracted, so it will not be distracted like that. See? Mind is getting distracted this way. So it will not go. That means when you sit, it will be here. Oh, this is the feet, this is the toes, this is the nail, this is the hand, and here is the blue, black color of the body, this is wearing this type of cloth, no? So thinking, eyes are like this, eyebrows are like that, thinking every feature a meditation will be very powerful if one can think of the features, every part of the, and this is an instruction which we can do in our own spiritual practice. So now it is time up. I don't want to keep you longer, because though we had to pass for so many pages, run, because I was not interested. But this is interesting part. So this is Dhruva's story. So it is the instruction of Rishi Narada, giving the instruction that you think of Lord Krishna on the bank of Yamuna river, and go there and sit, take a seat, do pranayama. See, all the Ashtanga yoga. Asana, pranayama, dharana, pratyahara. So, asana, take a seat, pranayama, doing some exercise of the breathing exercise which will control the mind. And then after that, pratyahara, focus on the Lord in your heart and think of Him from part by part, and the whole picture. They will conclude that then you think of the face, the beaming, shining face, and then feel that it is all effulgent, gradually. So it is more light and more light and more light. No? But what we do, we just come from running and sit and meditate. As a result, mind goes where? I was there all the time roaming around, and mind goes that place only. Okay? Jai Ma. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. So we ended at book 4, chapter 8.
So book 4,
chapter 8, 50 we ended.
we started book 4, chapter
Today.
1, verse 1.
Verse 1 to end today,
And
chapter
8 verse,
chapter
is the number
50.
50.
That means we didn't read anything. Okay, Jai Thakur. Thank you.